Hey everyone, IEEE is back with yet an amazing video. If you have missed our previous video about the Node MCU, the link is in the description below. The Raspberry Pi Foundation has released yet another of their latest and greatest Raspberry Pi Pico. Despite its name being appetizing, Raspberry Pi is the name of a series of a single board computer made by the Raspberry Pi Foundation, a UK charity. The Raspberry Pi launched in 2012 and there has been several iterations and variations released since then. The original Pi had a single core 700 MHz CPU and just a 256 MB RAM. The main price point of Raspberry Pi has always been on higher stakes for normal students to afford. Despite what it looks like, it has everything a computer needs to work. All over the world, people use this Linux-powered and a GPIO pin-equipped microcontroller to learn programming skills, build hardware projects, do home automation, and even use them in industrial applications. In January 2021, the Raspberry Pi Foundation released their latest $4 masterpiece, the Raspberry Pi Pico. The Raspberry Pi Pico is a radical change from previous of the Pis because it's not a Linux computer but a microcontroller board like an Arduino. The biggest selling point of Raspberry Pi Pico is the price, which is much cheaper than the previous models of Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi Pico is the first device to use RP2040 Pi Silicon, which is a custom system on chip or SoC developed by Raspberry Pi team, which features a dual-core ARM Cortex M0 Plus running at 133 MHz, 264 KB of static RAM, and 2 MB of flash memory used to store files. The Raspberry Pi Pico can be programmed in C or MicroPython, which is the officially supported language for general and educational use. The MicroPython code for this microcontroller can be done in Thonny Python IDE, which is available for all major operating systems and is the most accessible way to get started with your Pico. The Raspberry Pi Pico uses RP2040, a microcontroller chip designed by the Raspberry Pi. This is the part of the board that does all the heavy lifting and contains a processor and 264 kilobytes of memory, which compared to most microcontrollers is actually quite a large amount. The pins on Raspberry Pi Pico are called GPIO or general purpose input-output pins. Connect header pins to these and you can use them easily to control things like LED, buzzer, sensors. The three small pins at the bottom of your board, which are the debug pins, are used for finding errors in your programs. At the top, there is a micro USB connector to power your Pico via a computer. Finally, just below the USB port is a button marked boot cell. Holding this down while plugging your Pico into your computer will make it show up like a hard drive or a memory card. So this was all about the Raspberry Pi Pico and I hope you learned a lot about it. We'll see you again in our next video and don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.